Adam, I thought I had my act together. You were up here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Erickson. I'm in Fred's lifelong friend, and I'm Debbie's cousin. I've known Ruth for 67 years, so long time. I met Ruth when she was a den mother, and I was in Den 2 in the Cub Scouts. Doesn't fit so well anymore. Ruth was the coolest den mother for a couple of reasons. Some of it was that we got to eat snickerdoodles that she made. We got to sort of make them. And we had great crafts, partly, and mostly I think provided by Fred's dad. I still remember the leather belt they made at one of our weekly meetings. But I want to back up a little bit because there was another reason she was the coolest den mother. It was probably the most important one. By the way, the den members were Freddie, Jimmy Kaufman, Johnny Morale, Greg Ott. I think Greg was a member, maybe not. And Brett Collins. But she was the coolest mom in retrospect because I was this brutally shy, almost terrified little boy. And when we went to Freddie's house for den, I always felt good, happy. Not just because of the cool things we did the coolest things there, but because I think I felt seen by Ruth, Mrs. Stark. You can call her Ruth for 35 more years. You know, she was always caring, you could tell. We talked about that twinkle in her eye. But she was also firm with us, and she kind of contained us as young boys. But I think we all felt her love, and it made it especially beautiful for me, and made those days I remember for a long, long time. She created, as I said, this well-structured, safe, and fun environment, and I think she saw every one of us as a unique little kid. And then life happened, middle school, high school, college, work, marriages, and that sort of thing. And as Debbie's cousin, probably about 25 years ago, I started showing up at their house for Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving. And what was fascinating about these was that I always made a point to sit down with Ruth. And now I realize that I did that because sitting down in a chair next to Ruth and talking to her for 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, she was always fun, energetic, but she was also always wise. And in retrospect, I'm amazed how in 10 minutes, when everybody's drinking and having a great time, I'd suddenly be in the corner and she'd bring up something. And it was always thoughtful, wise, and proved to me that she saw everything around her at a depth that was really surprising and unusual in any human being, and also that she was willing and able to express it in a 10-minute conversation. And then the impossible happened. I was at her 100th birthday, and I made her 100 snickerdoodles. That's not really the point. The point is the thank you card that she sent me afterwards. She talked about how, luckily snickerdoodles are 98% sugar, so they last a long time, but how she could share them with her friends at her home. And they became sort of part of her life and her stories. But the way she wrote about, at 100 years old, she wrote this moving, intelligent, loving thank you note. I still am amazed at what a caring and loving and wise woman she was. And the last thing, I think the last time I saw her was just last Thanksgiving. And last Thanksgiving, I swear I thought she was going to live forever. I had one of those conversations with her. She was a little more frail and sitting in the chair, but she still had that glow and brightness in her eye. She still had something to say that was interesting, moving, wise. She's 101. It confirmed to me that, again, she was watching, and she was knowing the people that she met. She was looking closely and seeing things that others didn't see. And also at that Thanksgiving, she did something really special. I was sitting with her, and suddenly she looked up, had a big cheery smile on her face. She waved at my wife. And Cindy came over, and she shook her head or something, and she grabbed her by the arm and pulled her down and whispered in her ear. And my wife had this big, bright smile on her face. But Ruth, once again, proved herself to be an amazing observer of people and love. Because after that Thanksgiving, I said, "What did she say to you? What happened?" And she said, I've known Chris for a long time, and you're really good for him. So the point isn't, she is good for me, but the point is that Ruth saw that, and is the kind of person that would take the time and the effort to say it. And to think to say it. How many people do that kind of thing? Mm-hmm. She's wise, she's caring, she's bright. She was a light, certainly in my life. I love Ruth. I'll miss her dearly, and she will certainly be with me for as long as I live. That's all I have to say.